Thanks for tuning in to Know Better, Live Best. I am your host, Kari Ginger. Today's guest is a professional volleyball player that has played in Sweden, Romania, and is currently in Germany. Krista DeGeest is a graduate of the University of Northern Iowa, where she killed it on the volleyball courts. Listen in as Krista tells us about how nutrition impacts her performance and how it has become more important to her over the years, the differences in eating in other countries, and a funny story about picking out a delicious, what she thought was yogurt to eat. Know Better, Live Best is dedicated to supporting food and health literacy in people of all ages. Our mission is to cut through the misinformation surrounding food, health, and nutrition because we believe that when people know better, they can make the right choices and live their best lives. We are presented by Bytable Foods. They use blockchain and Internet of Things technology to build traceable, transparent food systems because it shouldn't take an investigative journalist to find out where food comes from. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Know Better, Live Best, and I am here with Krista DeGeest, who is an amazing volleyball player. I am jealous, I haven't told you that yet. So Krista, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, thank you for the introduction. I am originally from Spencer, Iowa. I grew up there in the northwest corner of Iowa, and I graduated high school from there and then went on and played volleyball at the University of Northern Iowa. I was there for 5 years and got to play volleyball there and play under amazing coach Bobby Peterson. And then after that, I got the opportunity to go and start my professional volleyball career. And I've been playing overseas for 5 years now. So I'll be going back at the end of August to start my 6th professional season. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh my gosh, I love that all you're traveling, which we are going to get into a little later. But I love, no one else probably knows it. So Spencer, Iowa, you probably know where my in-laws are from. They are in Primgar. It's like 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what Primgar is?
Yes, I do.
I love to talk to people who know about Primgar because most don't. Because it's a small little town in northwest Iowa. It's awesome.
I know. No, that's awesome. Yeah.
My oldest son is actually currently there for his first week with grandma and grandpa, although he calls them grandma.
Oh, how fun. Yeah, I live near Lake Okoboji now for the summer, which is a great place to be for the summer.
Yep, been there too. It's a lot of fun. I just laugh because I talk to my son on the phone at night and I'm like, oh, I miss you. And he's like, yeah, mom, like 4-wheeler, tractor rides, all the fun things like farm kids do that, I never did my city life in Davenport. No, but I love it. So yes, I've been to Spencer quite a bit. I would go there on dates with my husband when we were just dating. So it's like a long distance relationship. So good old Spencer. I love it. So cool. So yeah, you and I. So you know my brother.
I do know your brother. He was on the same floor as me in the dorms. And that's how I met him.
So fun. Did he come to your volleyball games?
Small world. Of course he did. He was number one fan. Always in the stands.
I bet he was. So athletes, you've been hitting the volleyball court pretty hard for a number of years now. Obviously high school, but high level college and then traveling to other countries.
Yes, exactly.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
As a high level athlete now, like what are some of the biggest things you have to cope with, like just to achieve your success? There's got to be some tough things that you just, have to do.
Yeah, for sure. I would say even starting off at a younger age, just pushing past and having the whole self-confidence thing. I wasn't always the most athletic person ever, but to just push past the naysayers and the people who said I wouldn't be able to do it. And I still you still get that no matter what level you're playing at. So just to surround yourself with people who are positive and will encourage you. I think that's something that I always have to make sure I do just in general, because seasons get long and you have bad games where you can have self-doubt and things like that. But just to always try to stay positive and pushing forward. That's probably my biggest thing I had to cope with. And now just being away from family and being away from that support system, that's always hard. I'm very thankful for technology and FaceTime and things like that to be able to talk with people back home, but being away for 9 months is definitely not the easiest thing in the world.
Oh, I didn't think about that, which I'm surprised I didn't, because I'm totally a homebody. I love to be around my family. My brothers are in town, my parents are in town where I am, and I chose that.
Yeah.
But I give credit to people who do that. How strong You have to
Yeah,
be, because you're achieving something awesome.
yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I love my job. I wouldn't change it for the world, but it being away is definitely difficult. But I get to play the sport that I love every single day, and that makes it all worth it for me.
Yeah, and just the memories and just the
Oh yeah, for sure.
experiences you're able to achieve, and then even just talk about it. I'm sure people just love talking to you about these experiences
Yeah,
that
it's
you've gone
super
through.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah. So that's
sure.
actually, that's interesting. I guess I wasn't quite expecting that, but I would expect to be the hardest thing for me too. So
Yeah, it's
I think that's
yeah,
awesome.
for
I
sure.
think it's everyone, no matter how awesome you are at a sport, you're gonna have people that are like, oh, whatever, someone else should be playing, or,
Yeah,
that
exactly.
good. I mean,
Or
it's
she
always
won't
gonna
be able to make it doing that over there and things like that. And so just to like have that confidence to like push past it and be like, I'm gonna prove you wrong. Like it's a motivation thing too, for sure. But
right.
just to be able to push past those people is something that I've always struggled with, but I've gotten better at it.
Well, it's having the right mindset for it.
Right,
It's
exactly.
something that takes practice. That's something I've been really into the past couple of years. And I talk with Alex Uding on our podcast together because she has it on her website,
Mhm.
Advancing Her. And it is such a big deal to be in that right mindset. It can make or
For
break
sure.
you.
100%. And it's like surrounding yourself with like the people that are going to be like those positive lights and push you toward your goals in life as opposed to like pull you away. That's something that has really helped me in life to, I don't need to be around the people that are going to be negative all the time. I need to be around people who are going to push me to get better and be where I want to be in life. And that's really helped me
Good
be
for
able to
you.
achieve what I've achieved.
Yeah, and I think everyone, all listeners out there, listen to that, because that I think everyone can draw upon experiences where that pertains to them. Like right
Yeah,
now, it's
absolutely.
speaking to me, and I think everyone just needs to listen to that. It's like you can do it. Why not? Why
Yep,
not you?
exactly. Why not?
Really?
Yep,
Why
exactly.
someone else? So that might actually be a big part of this next question. But do you have any skills or approaches that you have found most helpful to your success? I mean, because you're pretty successful, being able to travel the country and or to other countries
Yeah,
and play.
I mean, definitely the whole like surround yourself with good people.
Mm-hmm.
Always have good mentors. I've had some great people in my life that I've always been able to turn to, and whenever something's going wrong, and they can help me out and just like trying to stay focused. I think that the whole mindset thing that we were talking about before, that's a big part of. I mean, we're going to go into nutrition later, but it's a big part of
Mm-hmm.
nutrition. Big part of, hey, I don't want to work out today, but I need to. I need to push myself. I don't want to stretch and do the recovery that I need to do. But I have the people that are like, no, this is what's going to make you better. That's going to help you. And just to be able to get in that mindset that it's going to help you in the long run, and the end results of winning the game or achieving the next goal in your life is makes it all worth it in the end.
I think you're speaking to me. I had to talk with myself because just I talk to myself this
Oh, I
morning
do that too. It's okay.
about my back, and I'm still like, I'm having more like pain the last 2 days. I'm like, what on earth? And I'm like, you know what? I haven't been moving as much as I usually do. I'm using like, oh, I have
Right.
3 little kids as my excuse. No, I can find a way. It's just telling yourself like it's got to be like the non-negotiable. Like you got
Right.
to
Just
do it.
like the
I'm
little
sure
things
my
in
body's
life that you're
talking.
like, I can do this. Like it takes
Yep.
5 minutes. Like
Yep. It's
you
like
can do
make
this.
it important. I find time to eat.
Yeah.
Like I find time to work out.
I do that too.
I'll do it. So
Exactly.
being an athlete, because I didn't play, well, I played volleyball till like freshman year, but I really don't count that in high school, not
It
college.
counts.
Yeah, we'll count that. But I was big into basketball and softball.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I thought, being an athlete myself helped me come out of my shell. I was like really quiet in
Oh,
elementary
for
school.
sure.
I was like, I must behave. I'm not going to talk out. I was so shy. Oh my gosh. And I think being an athlete, especially in high school and in college, I played at Loris. Yep. Almost you and I caliber, but
Basically.
basically the same thing. And I really felt like it helped me come out of my shell, just be better about relationships with people.
Oh,
How
for
has being an
sure.
athlete helped you? I mean, outside of just
Oh,
being awesome.
it's made me the person I am. Not only do you like meet so many like awesome people in the
Mm-hmm.
world, that you can like model your life after, it just makes you so much more outgoing. It makes you even like having to do interviews for after games and things like that. You have to learn how to talk to people
Right.
and become the leader on the court, because that's always been a goal of mine. Like when I went to UNI, my goal was, okay, I want to be like those captains that I had growing up. I want to be like my coach that I had there, and just to be able to try to strive to be like those people and be an inspiration to other people. I think that has really molded me into the person that I am today. And then throw in going overseas, you have to be outgoing. Otherwise you get to stay in your room the whole time, which is not very much fun. So, I mean, going into a team where you know nobody and everyone speaks a different language than you, it's a little bit challenging. My first year I was in Sweden, so everyone knew English there, but probably my biggest challenge was I went to Romania my second year, and I was the first American they ever had on their team and the only English speaking person on the team.
Really?
So that was definitely a challenge, but it made me a way stronger person. I had to force myself to be way more outgoing, and it's been awesome. Now they're all great friends of mine, and I still keep in contact with them, but it just getting yourself out there and putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, it becomes fun after a while.
Right. And I'm sure just being well-rounded and able to work well with others, especially
like teamwork, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
It's such a big deal. I mean, you hear about it growing up, you're like, yeah, teamwork, I got this, but it's a big deal. I mean, you're very outgoing. You might have always been like this. I obviously don't know you much before now,
I'm getting there now.
Super personable and just fun to talk to. So I'm sure everyone just loves you when they meet you, no matter what language they're speaking.
I don't know about that, but I'm working on it.
So, and I'm sure you're still working on this. I don't know what athlete wouldn't still be working on this, but for listeners today, what advice would you have for them to establish maybe healthy, just performance patterns? It doesn't necessarily have to be nutrition, but just
in general, start doing it. It's a struggle. Like you just said, no matter where you're at. When I'm overseas, obviously it's a lot easier. I have 2 practices a day that I have to go to every day, and I'm surrounded by people who are on my team that I am with 24/7, and everyone's reaching the same goal of, we want to make it to this far in the tournament. When you're home, it's a little bit different. Like, you need to surround yourself with people that are going to push you, and find someone who's going to go to the gym with you. Find somebody who wants to eat healthy and will go to the healthier restaurants with you when you want to go out to eat. And that's always, it's a struggle when I come home for sure, but I have people around me that are like, good, it's okay that I'm going to get a burger and you're going to get a salad. Like, that's okay. I'm like, that's a good thing. But there's always that temptation no matter, but I would just say, just start small. Anytime I've ever tried to, I'm going to cut out all of these things in my life, or I'm going to make sure I do this, and I try to just do everything at once, it never works out for me. No. And everybody's going to be different. Some people need that, but I think it was really cool at UNI when our first year, our coach said that she challenged us to give up one thing for that season when it came to food. So, and I did that, and I really latched onto that. And, after a season, I didn't crave that anymore. My first year was potato chips, because that was my go-to when I was in high school. But and I don't crave it anymore. And then the next year I added something onto it. So by my 5th season, I was giving up 5 things that during season that some of them I still eat, obviously, but I don't crave them as much as I did before I started doing that. So just having that little bit at a time sort of thing really helped me to accomplish the end result goal.
Well, it makes it's like breaking those, bigger goals into smaller ones. Good for your coach for realizing how hard that actually is.
Yeah. Well, and she did it too, which made it even better. So she gave up something as well. So it wasn't just, I want all of you guys to do it, and I'm going to do this too, so we can all do it together.
Right. Well, It's a lot easier that way, because I'm still working on that, and I'm always like, oh, I still have so far to go. But I look back to a year ago.
Exactly.
And I'm like, what? I have come a long way. I'm going to set mindset. I'm going to get back. I have not had, this, and this. And oh my gosh, pop. I used to be addicted to pop. It was bad. Every day I would have a large one. And I haven't had a pop. I bet it's been 2 years. I bet it's about 2 years. That's, if you would have asked me that 2 years ago, I'm like, there's no way. And now it's I don't even crave it.
But it's also good that what you just said of that you need to look back and like realize how far you've actually come, because I think so many people and everybody's guilty of it. I mean, I do the same thing too, but you're like, oh, I have so much more to go. I was horrible because I did this the other day, or I didn't work out today, so that makes me bad. But it's like, no, you know what? Like, I've made it a long way. It's okay.
Right.
Like, just now keep going from there, you know, but you have to like remember the good stuff that has happened too, because
Yes.
otherwise it's always like a negative world, and I'm not all about that. I like the positivity.
Me either. I'm like, let's probably, I'm like a kindergarten teacher because of these kids come in, they're smiling. It's like, we have to look on the bright side. Not everything's going to be like, celebrate people, celebrate your successes, because the world will be much better for it. But that's probably another podcast there, but no.
Just smile all the time.
Just smile wherever you go. So the young Krista. So your volleyball career, when do you think it actually started? When did you start volleyball?
I started at a very young age. I have an older sister, so volleyball has been in my family for a very long time. And I'm not going to lie, I was not always very good at it. I tried really hard, but I was a very late developer. So I would like to say that I was a project that was brought on the teams. But I was just such a late developer. I was not strong, couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time. I was just walking all over the place like crazy. But always had my family and some like my club coach that was coaching my sister, and people just always saying, you know, Krista, you're going to be good someday. You just have to keep working at it. And I'd say the whole naysayers thing was the biggest in high school. It was, you're never going to play. I had coaches say, you're never going to play. You won't even play in high school. Like that, all of this stuff. And my family was like, no, you stick with it. You stick with it. And I did, and got the last laugh, I guess. But that was a big struggle, but definitely like pushing through it, because sometimes you develop later. So it just takes some time. But then I went to UNI after that and had some awesome coaches here that worked with me, because from my freshman to my senior year, I became a completely different person as a volleyball player in person. But they really worked with me, and I stayed after practice, I think, every day my freshman year to keep working on stuff. But then I got there, so it was good. But young Krista, I never would have thought that I would be playing volleyball right now, but I'm where I'm at right now. But it's cool. If I could tell her then, maybe I would work even harder. But
it sounds like you did, though, because I think a lot of kids, and not all, but I think a lot just expect to just be good. It's like, okay, look at those really good athletes. They're not just going to practice. They're going to practice. They're giving their all, but they're also, it's what you don't see.
Right, exactly. It's the doing things outside of practice and staying after and pushing yourself to be better at what you are. And, you know, I think it's also the girls that were really good when they were younger, that they think that, oh, this is good enough. And so I think it's almost, I like to think of it now as that it was an advantage, because I never was just given it. I had to work hard to be able to achieve what I've achieved. The only part I was given was my height. I'm 6'2", so that part's nice. That helps with volleyball, but everything else, you know, you have to work hard to be able to get what you need. And I
mean, it helps, but there's a lot of tall girls out there. I mean, you
still have to work hard.
It definitely helps, but that's just a little piece of it. It's like, what do you do
definitely
with it?
Yeah, exactly.
I think, like I said, I loved sports, hoping my kids enjoy sports. It'll be whatever they want. But I just, like I said, it was
kind of pushing up that way, huh?
Yeah. And so far, like I said, my oldest is 6, so who knows? I think he's going to be like a cross country runner, because the kid is never tired. Never.
Oh my goodness.
Tired.
I envy them.
No,
the whole
not
distance
a runner
thing. I'm not a huge. I like my 30 by 30 square. That's what I stay in.
So I could only handle basketball, because I felt like my mind was on something else. But if I was just to go out and run, I'm like, am I done yet? Oh, it's been 2 minutes. No, not done yet.
2 minutes. I could do it.
Maybe 2 more minutes now. So I think I liked your advice for youth athletes in there as well, is just, don't give up. So I had a podcast with Chase Holmer a little bit ago, and he recommended really just getting into a lot of different areas too. Do you suggest like going after one
different
sport right
sports.
away, or do you think they should try a lot of things
No,
out when you're
I
young?
think you should try everything. I mean, you never know what your niche is going to be. I
Mm-hmm.
played volleyball and basketball. Um, I tried the whole track thing. That wasn't really for me. Maybe like high jump or something, but that wasn't really for me. But and it really just it makes you appreciate those other sports as well, and it gives you a different. I don't know. It makes it so you don't get so worn out. I think if I only did volleyball
Mm-hmm.
from the very beginning until now, I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, but it's nice to have those other aspects and other sports and other people to hang out with too. It
Right.
makes you that whole things that sports teach you besides just the sport. Being in other sports, maybe you can be a leader in that sport more than you are in a different way, and it'll teach you life skills that you didn't have before too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, obviously, Know a Little Bit Better, Live Best is, I mean, we really like to dive into the nutrition aspect. And I know we
Mhm.
both talked a little bit. I think we have similar backgrounds when it came to nutrition. It was kind of like,
Yep.
yeah, and I'm sure you thought the same thing. Like, yeah, we need to work out and move a lot, but then we can, eat
Yeah,
different
you
things.
can
I'm
eat
sure
whatever you want.
but we did, and I'm sure I'm definitely older than you, but as I've gotten older, I've realized how much more important nutrition, especially for my body. I'm sure it's not everyone, but mine has taken a toll on it.
Oh, for
And
sure.
if I could give my young self advice, it would actually be more about the nutrition aspect. Not that my parents didn't encourage it, it's just we're our own people, and
Right.
we can do
Exactly.
what we want. And so I wish I would have done more, because I've looked with my back issues. I've looked into how much, really nutrition can play a role with like the discs in the back. And
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
genetics
sure.
plays a role totally in my family. But I really think I probably could have done a little more had I known that, but it's neither here nor there. Where I am now. And I think, I've learned a lot. So how do you best take care of yourself now to perform well?
Um, I definitely have added the nutrition part into my
Okay.
routine. Um, I obviously in the off season when I'm home and I like to be very social and hang out with
Yes.
people, and so it's not always the easiest when you're going
No.
out to eat and things like that. And I'm not perfect by any stretch of the
Mm-mm.
imagination, but um, I try to pick the salad over the burger. I try to make smart choices in order to be eat healthy and put positive things in my body. And I, especially when I'm overseas and since I've gotten older, I've noticed more on how that actually does affect me and affects my life. And I think it took me going overseas and having to make all my own food and really focus on what I was buying because everything's in a different language. So you have to really focus on what you're actually buying. But I think that that's really changed my aspect on the food because you get told all the way through high school and through college and everything what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that, and eat carbs before a game, do things like this, what la da 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 da. But until it's like your job and I have to live that life for 9 months out of the year, it you realize that what I'm eating affects how I'm playing. And I think that also has to do with getting older too, is that
Yeah.
what I don't digest it and I don't metabolize it as fast as I probably did before.
Yep.
But um, it's really been a big part of my life that I've learned now. And I wish, I don't know if I'd say the young Krista like high school, because honestly, the young Krista in high school probably wouldn't listen to me,
No.
even though, even, even though it's me. But in college, I wish I would have, I knew what I was supposed to do. And I had the resources. I had my coaches, I had nutritionists, I had people I could talk to, but I just was like, oh, I'm working out enough. It's okay. Like
Mm-hmm.
I want to eat healthy, but I can eat a huge plate of pasta as opposed to the portion size, which I think is something that I've really learned and I still struggle with a lot. But like, you don't need a huge plate. You can
Right.
you'll be just fine off a little plate, which I think is something that everyone struggles with. But
Oh, I
that's
think
probably
so.
been my biggest thing is like, as long as I don't put it in front of me, I won't eat it. But
Right.
you don't need tons and tons and tons of food in order to be just fine. I'm not saying starve yourself by any means.
No.
I eat all the time, but you don't need as much as what you think you need.
And I think it starts more as adults. You notice, well, your body's probably like, okay, I'm over all this food you've been putting in me your whole life.
Right,
Now I'm going to start
exactly.
like talking to you, and you need to listen.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
what
And
makes your
have
body
time to
feel good?
listen.
Because what
Right,
I eat
exactly.
may not work for you, and that's just fine. It's
Oh, no.
listening to your own body, how do you feel when
and it's
have
different
this,
when
this,
I'm,
and this?
and like I said, like when I'm overseas and I practice 2 times a day every day,
Mm-hmm.
like I have to eat different than even when I'm back home and I'm working out once a day or doing different things. It's just how you have to feel your body, and like you said, like listen to it, and it'll tell you when you're
Right.
hungry or when you're full. It's not like, oh, it's noon, I need to eat right now. And I think that's something that, like, especially I feel like America, with the hustle and bustle that we have so much
Mm-hmm.
here, that it's like, I have 15 minutes, I'm just going to stuff my face full of food
Yeah.
because that's the only time I have.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, okay, but are you actually hungry? Like, what do you need to actually fuel yourself? And that it's not like an easy concept to do by any means, but
No.
that's something I've been really working on trying to do.
Well, I think it is a gradual process, and then you're more likely to stick with it, especially when you're
exactly.
feeling crummy. It's like, all right, I've got to stop that, because when, I eat this, I don't feel well. And then I have, and then you're not going to perform well. My performing is, I won't be able to survive my 3 children at home, but
hey, that's pretty much like 2 practices a day. I think that's pretty much the same, if not worse. But
I love them dearly, but yes, you're doing your game.
But I think that also, like you just said, that it's something that you have to learn for yourself, because it took until, like I said, I was told by so many people that this is what I should do, this is what I need to be eating, this is what I need in order to perform at my best. But until I sat there and I saw the difference that it made when I did do that, and I wanted to do it for myself, it wouldn't have made a difference. Right. Because if someone's telling you have to do something, you never want to do it. You probably know that as a mom. If you tell your kid to do something, they don't want to do it. But if you if you make it their idea, then it's great.
It totally works then. All the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you have a go-to recovery routine? Like if you have you were talking about 2-a-days. Do you have any certain recovery routine you go through?
That is something I'm also working on, because as you get older, you have to do recovery. And before I could just, and warming up, I need to do all that stuff now too. Right. But definitely trying to get the good nutrients back in my body. Rest is a huge thing, that the whole 8 hours of sleep and stuff like that. When I'm overseas, I have to make sure I get that. Otherwise I don't perform well. And the drinking of the water, which I still struggle with, but I try to have a water bottle with me at all times. I just carry it around with me wherever I go to try to get enough water back in my system to go sweat it out again. But those are definitely big things. And the eating of the right things right after, that's something that I've been really working on, especially these last couple seasons.
Oh, good for you.
To make sure I put the right stuff back in my body after I work it off, as opposed to going home and just taking whatever you want because I just worked out and I'm dead. I'm just going to grab whatever I can see first. It's trying to think of, well, right. And I think that's why so many people meal prep. And I need to get into that. I've always told myself I want to try it, but because then that's just something you can grab because it's already prepped and it's ready to go. But that's something I've been starting to try to work on.
Well, that is one of my, it's a goal I'm hugely working on. But when I meal prep on Sundays, my week is great. It's like I don't find myself wanting something else because it's convenience for me.
And it's there and you don't overput it. Yep.
Yeah. I'm in the busy stage of I just have 3 kids, but you know, you're in the busy stage of I don't have much time. So if you can just pull things out of your refrigerator, you know, already good for you, it's so much easier. So
and it's already portioned and it's already everything. You can do it when, do it by like a science thing as opposed to I'm really hungry. I'm going to put an extra scoop on this right now.
Yep. So do you have, what is your favorite? Like, I don't know if it's the night before or before a game. What's your favorite thing to eat?
Oh boy. So I tend to just throw everything into one like skillet and eat that. So I call it like a stir fry. But this last year I had like stir fry with a bunch of vegetables and chicken and some like a little bit of pasta. And that was my go-to. But I had it before every meal, for every game. So I get into a routine. If it works for one, if I feel good for that game, then I'm like, all right, this works. I'm going to do it for everything because I don't want to mess it up. But that tends to be my go-to. I eat vegetables all the time.
Well, and it's like, it goes back to that convenience. You know it works. You know how to make it. There's really no thought that goes into it. So you just do it
Yeah.
quickly.
If I feel good, then it's okay. Then I'm just going to stick with that.
Oh yeah, I just made one. It was like a butternut squash bowl that I had at a
Oh, yum.
restaurant. And I was like, ooh, can I make it the same way just so I know for sure the ingredients going in it? It was great. My husband loved it. And he's like, that was really good. We're going to have that like a couple times a week next. He knows how I am. Like I just start making the same
Yeah.
thing over and
So
over
we're
and
going to have
over.
that for every meal
He's
now?
like, so I thought that was good. And I was like, point taken. I need to keep branching out. But it was just kind of funny. But you did
Just like 2 or 3 times a week. It's no big deal.
yeah, like I love it. But let me just, he must be so nice because obviously when I cook,
Right.
he's probably just like, okay, I can't be negative. She's cooking.
Exactly. Otherwise it's going to become his job.
I know. So what are some of the biggest barriers you've had like face like regarding nutrition? Maybe it's when you're overseas, maybe it's when you're back home. Just what are some of the biggest barriers that you faced?
Um, Overseas, first of all, it would be figuring out what the food is. Um, the best story I have is from when I was in Sweden. I bought what I thought was Greek yogurt. It tasted great. I like ate a whole big jug of it. This is going to sound horrible, but so I ate this whole big jug of it. One of my Swedish friends came over and she's like, "Krista, what is that?" And I was like, "It's Greek yogurt." She goes, "Oh no, that's not Greek yogurt. It's cream cheese." So I had been eating cream cheese, which tasted great with my fruit and cereal in the morning. But so I ate this whole big jug of like, well, no wonder I felt like didn't feel so great this whole past week. But yeah, so the first thing is trying to figure out what I'm eating.
Cream cheese.
Yeah, no big deal. It's the first story I tell anybody, but now I've gotten a little bit better. That was my first year. I've Google translated things better now. But that part overseas would be the biggest thing, especially like restaurants and stuff. Like you don't know how to say without something, or you don't
Right.
know what they're actually even putting on it. So that's something overseas that I definitely struggle with, and just all the bakeries because the pastries there are very, very good.
Yes.
And then back home, it's the going out to eat for me. Like if I eat at home all the time, I'm good to go. But I am a very social person, as you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned. I've become a very social person. So when I'm home for 3 months. I want to see everybody and do as
Right.
many things as I possibly can. And when you go out to eat, I mean, even sometimes when you go to a restaurant and you get a salad or you get something like, it's still not the best option for you.
No.
Like even though it seems like it would be, it's not always the best thing you can possibly get. So just trying to be smart even when I'm going out to eat all the time. And sometimes I've gotten better. My friends know I'll eat at home and I'll just go and they can eat and I'll get like a little side salad or something, but I'll eat my main meal at home.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
My phone actually won't turn down lately. I'm kind of feeling I'm on my way to a new phone, but even when I turn it off, it still rings. And I'm like, okay, we'll see how long this lasts. But anyway, yeah, so.
Oh, it's okay. But that's
a great
probably
idea.
my biggest barrier is just to like still be super social and like try to be smart about it at the same time, because there's no way I'm going to just sit at home all the time. That's just not me.
No.
But just to try to figure out how to be healthy and be conscious without being a nomad sitting at home all the time.
Right. And that's why I wish more restaurants had like legit healthy options.
Right.
Yeah, I know some do, but not many. Like you said, even the salads have, like and you can say like without croutons and without,
right.
The loads of cheese and things like that.
So then it's just a bowl of lettuce.
Right, bowl of lettuce, basically. Here's your bowl of lettuce. Maybe you can, I don't know, not even the ranch. I mean,
iceberg lettuce.
I know there's like nothing, and so well, not like you in that fact, but lately I've been wanting to get out more. After being like bed rest for my back, and my youngest is now 1. I feel like I can start.
It's time.
Friends a little more, and then we go out to eat. And I'm like, I don't even know what to order now. Like I can,
right, and that's a hard thing.
I know.
And it's like trying to figure out what to do for that, and that's probably my biggest barrier when it comes to eating. Because when I'm at home and I make my own food, I'm great. Like I have all the vegetables, I have the things I need, and I can I can eat healthy and do things like that, but it's it's the going out to eat, and that's the biggest problem for I think a bunch of people, and that's
Oh
the
yeah.
whole. I mean, it's convenient. You go out to eat. It's the fast food. It's the things like that that get people because they, like you said, like you think you're eating healthy, and then you go and I don't know. They have the app. What is it, like MyFitnessPal or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
That you can like look up different restaurants and like the calorie count and like what's actually in them, and you look up some of the things, and you're like thinking you were making such a smart choice, and it's like, oh, never mind. Like that was not such a great option.
The fried food had less calories. No.
I know, like what? Well, how does this work? Please explain this to me.
So you've been like what? Sweden, Romania,
Sweden
Germany.
for 1 year,
Okay.
Romania for 3 years, Germany this past year, and I'm going back to Germany on a different team this next year. Those are where
Okay.
I've played. I've visited a bunch of other places after season because during season you don't really get to do much. You
Probably
basically
not.
go to the gym and that's about it. But after season, I normally try to take a couple weeks and go visit the surrounding countries. So that's kind of fun. But I've only played in three.
Yeah. So I went to Mexico once for my honeymoon.
That's
Haven't
good.
traveled
No, it's okay.
at all. So I love talking to people because I just haven't, and it's
Well,
probably
if you
not
ever go and you want to
in
know
my
somewhere to
future,
go,
but
you just let me know.
never say never, right? So
Yeah, you still have time.
aside from maybe staying away from the cream cheese, that seems like Greek yogurt. Um, have you like found people that like you reach out to? I mean, obviously the internet, but do you have anyone that like, helps you understand the foods or?
Yeah, normally now I bring a teammate who's from that country with me
Okay.
when I go to the grocery stores, so that's helpful. They the teams now, a lot of people like will have nutritionists and things, but not tons of times. But if you want to ask
Right.
them, they can help you out, and just like Google Translate and things like that. Well, you can look things up, but they also have like, I mean, if you want fruits and vegetables, they have farmers markets all the time that you can go to and get the local stuff, which is always nice too. But kind of like here, as long as you stay on like the outside of the grocery store, you normally can be pretty good with stuff. But I go off of what it looks like. Sometimes I think I buy vegetables that I think are one thing and they turn out to be something else, but they look fun.
Makes you
So
branch
I'm
out a
like,
little bit.
yeah, right? It makes you try new things and then you realize what it is later.
So, what are some of the biggest differences regarding like nutrition and food between the United States and the places you visited?
Um, I would say like when it comes to like health wise, like Europe in general, like not even the food, I feel like is just more active. Like you see everyone walking everywhere and everything's by public transportation. And so everyone's walking to where they need to go. And in Sweden, everybody owns a bike. Like you bike wherever you want to go. And in any other country, you see older people walking around every day. They have like their little like walking sticks and they go on walks, whether it's snowing or not. Like, and they're going to the gym and it's just more of an active lifestyle, which I think helps helps with everything. So it makes people feel more nutritious. I know there's also like different regulations and stuff when it comes to the food that can be sold in Europe. I'm not sure about all of them. I'm not educated so much in that area, but and then when you go out, like portion size is a big difference. Like United States, you get ridiculous amounts of food. Like it's crazy. And I have a friend that um, is from the Czech Republic, and she was an au pair here for this whole year. And so I got to know her this summer. And that's the biggest thing she said is that you come here and you order a chicken sandwich or something, and it comes with a side and another side and that's something else, and then it's huge and you have all this stuff. Whereas I feel like when you're there, if you order a chicken sandwich, you get that, and then you order whatever side you want. And if you want a sauce, you have to order that sauce. And if you want something else, you have to order that. And so you're paying for all those extra things, which makes you think about it like, do I really need four things of ketchup and mustard and
Mm-hmm.
barbecue sauce and ranch and all these things? And you have to order whatever side you want, as opposed to it comes with fries no matter what.
Yeah, and you want an extra large with that? They'll
Yeah,
even
exactly.
ask.
If
Do
let's
you want one
supersize it,
bigger?
like,
No, I don't.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
I don't want it bigger.
exactly. So just the fact of, and like I said, that you don't even realize that you'd be just as happy with a smaller portion of food. Is this, you automatically get that smaller portion
Right.
when you're over there.
And you
So that,
feel better because then
and
you're
then
like,
you're
okay,
fine.
well, don't
Yeah,
want
and
to
you're
order
fine.
more because then I'm known as that girl. It's like ordering like 2 meals.
Well, and you finish it and you're like, oh, I'm full. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm not stuffed. I don't need to go sleep in my bed right now.
Right.
But like, I feel good. I'm good to
Yeah.
go. Like,
Perfect
let's
amount of
continue
food.
the day. Yeah.
So do you feel like it's easier, because I don't know, I just United States basically, is it easier to find more local food? Do you believe? Like I guess you're
A
going back
lot
to
of
Germany.
people, a lot of places have those farmers markets and they're more than one day. Like, and then maybe it's different in a lot of other cities. I mean, I'm only from like northwest corner of Iowa, but
Right.
we have our farmers market like one day of the week,
Mm-hmm.
whereas there, mostly the markets, they have it all the time. So like, or like 3 or 4 days in the week. So if you want to go like to that farmers market type where it's from the garden, you can go and buy those a lot easier.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, which is really cool. Or like everybody has their own garden, like so many people do. So then they just will give it to you, which is really nice.
That is nice.
Yeah, so that's really nice. Then, but I guess especially for me, I'm not speaking as a normal person living in Europe, I guess, because
Right.
I mean, when I'm over there, it's obviously super easy for me to stay in shape and eat healthy because that's my job. So
Right.
it might be different if, let's say, I'm going over there for a different job, but I mean, I am practicing twice a day and my only focus is just eat healthy, do this. Like, you're going to go work out in 2 hours. So you need to be ready for that next practice. But I would say, yeah, you definitely can find a lot more local grown things just through the farmers markets, which is always difficult in the winter, but they always have them available.
Right. So you, obviously this podcast is presented by Bytable Foods, and you've gotten to know a bit about it. So what do you think of Bytable Foods and kind of their mission and what they want to do?
I think it's a really cool concept. I'm excited to like, if I'd see it when it's actually like put in the works. But the concept of it, that you like, it holds people accountable, and transparency is always a good thing. I think no matter what, whether it's for a person or a company,
Yeah.
like to be, let everyone know like, hey, we're promoting this and this is what we are, and we're going to prove it because you can look into our background and we're going to prove that this is actually what we are. I think that's good for any company to have to prove that.
Well, and they can be proud of it too.
Well,
like,
exactly.
Let the consumers know, like, absolutely, we have nothing to hide.
And I listened to the one podcast of like that some companies, even though they're not like claimed organic, like sometimes it's even better than something who is. And
Right.
the fact that this will prove that, I think is really cool, that
Right.
you can see what you're eating and know that it's quality. And I think we talked about like the recalls of food, that it would be able to, like, when you look at that thing that you were buying, that you would know right away that it was recalled. Then you can be like, oh, then I don't need that. Like, that is not something that I want. Like,
Well, I don't know if it's getting in the news more, but I feel like the recalls this summer alone have just been
crazy.
Yes. Like there was just one a couple of days ago, like almond milk. I'm like, okay, I have that in my refrigerator. Let me go check.
My grandma just told me that.
Yeah. I'm like, this is just got to stop. And it's going to happen. But at least, you know, with the technology that Bytable wants to put out
crazy that there is that technology. Like, that's crazy to me.
You can see where it's been, and then it'll help out, you know, the consumers. Maybe like, no, I don't have to throw that away. Like, I got it from this place.
Mine's fine. Yeah.
This state, or even just for the businesses. Like, I'm sure there's tons of food thrown out because they can't pinpoint it. And so this would be great. It would actually help out businesses as well.
Yeah, it will save so much food that is high quality, and that they can save it. Like, no, this is fine. We can prove it. Here you go.
Right.
Like, and that's really cool.
So how do you think this could help athletes?
Well, just like along that concept of knowing what you're putting in your body. And that, I mean, you know, if it's high quality, it's always good to know what you're putting in your body. What you put in your body is what's going to fuel you, because our body is our machine. Like, that's what we have to use in order to, just like anybody, live your life. You only get one body.
Right.
So to try to fill it with things that are going to be a positive influence on it it's something I I strive to do. Obviously everyone struggles, and there's all those temptations and things that taste really, really good. So, but in the most part, like trying to put positive things into your body and quality food items is always a good thing.
Right. And I don't think you can ever be too old to start. I think like, I'm this age now. I'm like, who cares? Like, you could add some years to your life. Who knows? I'm like, I want to be around
exactly.
for a while, so.
And like my mom says, because I live with my mom and stepdad for the summer, and that day she's always like, I eat so much better when you're home because you make me, like, I told her, I said, I'm not going to live at home unless if we eat healthy, because otherwise if you're going to make cookies for me every other day, I'm not going to, like, I can't do that. The temptation is too much. So we try to eat healthy and do things. And she's like, oh, I feel better. It's just, I like it. She's like, just don't leave and then I'll be fine. But I think that's just a ploy to get me to stay home. But
I'll eat healthy. I promise. Just stay here.
Yeah. Like, no, you can FaceTime me, Mom, and tell me.
Yeah, I could totally agree. My husband, I gotta, give him credit. He's great. He will eat pretty much anything I want to eat. So that way he doesn't feel like I'm making too much. Like, he knows it's important to me. He's noticing how great he's feeling. But that in itself is just so big to me that he will.
That's a support system right there. Like,
yeah.
I notice, like, when I go hang out with certain groups of friends, I eat healthier or compared to other ones, just because they want to, I don't know, they want to, but it's more when it's volleyball players, like, we all want to make sure we're eating healthy. And then the other times it's like, oh, I can still find something to eat, and they're supportive of me. My other friends are too. But when they're buying the fries, it's like, ooh, I want those too, because it just
then you don't feel guilty because
right
they're
there,
doing it too.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's that mindset of like, no, just be that person to make better choices. But it's hard, and we all know. Like I said, I do not claim to be perfect because I am far from it.
No way.
But like I said, I am on this journey. Through this podcast, and
which is so cool.
To be done. It is fun. I get to talk to people like you. This is great.
Uh-huh.
People I normally wouldn't talk to, so I'm learning tons just through that, but also noticing the similarities in us all. Like, I'm not a high level athlete in any way, shape, or form, but just talking to you, it's like we all have the same wants,
the same struggles.
It's the same struggles, and it's just, I think it's neat. I think it's really neat to see it all connecting. So. And we kind of talked about, advice you'd give, but for the listeners, like walking away right now, what would you want to leave them with from this podcast? Whether it's, you talked about the mindset, or keep working on the nutrition, or, give yourself a break. What do you think? What would you like to tell them?
Oh, geez. Probably like all of that. I mean, if we want to jump back to like my goal when I leave, like I do camps, I do volleyball camps and stuff in the summer, and my goal is always to like encourage even the younger girls that aren't so great yet, that they can still achieve the things that they want to achieve in life. So I think that that's one of them, just to like make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that are going to encourage you to push toward goals, and whether that's to become a D1 athlete or become a doctor or become whatever you want to be in life. But those people are they're going to help you with the nutrition part. They're going to help you be the best person you are, which includes eating right, be positive, like all those things. But just to have somebody around that's going to really encourage you to strive for those things. And that, I think that's probably my biggest thing that's helped me in my life. I don't know. That's
absolutely no. I think that's great. And side note too, before we stop here, you are actually on UNI's campus right now, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, I'm going to go. The UNI volleyball girls just started their preseason, so I'm going to go train with them for a few days. So I'm pretty excited about that. I got to go and well, most of the girls are new. I didn't play with any of them because I've been out for a few years now, but it's always fun. It's a big Panther family. Bobby does a good job of once you're a Panther, you're always a Panther. So you get to come back whenever I want, which is pretty awesome.
Absolutely. And I was going to another fun thing. So you've stayed connected, and I love that. So one of the co-founders of Bytable Foods is a UNI grad as well. And so I think it's pretty
That's awesome.
Like on the UNI campus, so that, Bytable Foods,
Panther Pride.
Panther Pride. Exactly. I love it. So we're really lucky to get you. I know you're always so busy, and
thank you so much.
Especially while you're still back in the States for a little bit.
Yeah.
Before you head back. But Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, Krista, thanks so much for joining us today. And
Yeah,
I know
thank
the
you.
listeners
It's been awesome.
enjoy this conversation because I know I had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right. Well, thanks, Krista.
Yeah, thank you.
Good
Bye.
luck practicing. Bye.
Bye.